Are you holding on to a small fortune without even knowing it? Imagine having a simple nickel in your pocket worth $1.5 million. It sounds like a dream, right? But for some, it's reality. There's a rare coin from 1964, the Monticello Jefferson Nickel, that has collectors losing their minds and offering life-changing sums of money. Today, I'm going to reveal how this unassuming coin skyrocketed in value, how you might have one sitting in your drawer, and why you need to act fast before this opportunity slips through your fingers. It might just be the ticket to the wealthy lifestyle you've always dreamed of, so stick around to learn more, because missing out could cost you a fortune. But let's start with a quick question. How many of you actually check your pocket change? You may want to start after this. Now, before you run off to search through every jar of coins in your house, let me share the story behind this incredible coin. The 1964 Jefferson Nickel, specifically the ones without a mint mark, is more than just a piece of metal. This nickel, minted during a pivotal time in American history, could be worth millions today if the right circumstances align. But how did this ordinary-looking coin become so valuable? Well, in 1964, the U.S. Mint produced an astounding number of Jefferson Nickles. But here's where things get interesting. Coins from that year without the D mint mark, meaning they weren't minted in Denver, are extremely rare. A mistake? Perhaps. A miracle for collectors? Absolutely. You see, the absence of this mint mark has caused a frenzy in the world of coin collectors. But it gets even better. There are theories that some of these coins were never meant to enter circulation, but somehow did. That's why finding one in pristine condition could literally change your life. Just think about it. You could be one coin away from quitting your job and buying that dream house on the beach. Who knew pocket change could do that? But here's where the urgency kicks in. Because as more people become aware of this coin, the fewer chances you'll have to get in on this opportunity. The window is closing, and fast. But how do you know if you have one? How do you avoid getting tricked by a counterfeit? We'll get to that in just a second, but first, let's talk about the current market and why this coin is creating such a buzz. In today's market, collectors are willing to pay top dollar for coins in exceptional condition. We're talking millions of dollars, folks. In fact, one Jefferson nickel without the mint mark sold for over $1.5 million. That's right, a single nickel. And it's not just the collectors driving up these prices, it's a combination of scarcity, demand, and the potential for these coins to only increase in value over time. The stakes are high, and if you have one of these nickels in your possession, you could be sitting on a gold mine. But the trick is knowing how to cash in before it's too late. Quick thought, how many nickels do you think you've passed by without ever giving a second thought? Makes you want to grab a magnifying glass, right? But don't worry, I've got you covered. Let's dive into how you can identify if you own one of these rare coins. So, how can you tell if your 1964 Jefferson nickel is the real deal? First, you need to examine the mint mark, or rather, the lack of one. If there's no D on the side of the coin, you might just have struck gold, or nickel in this case. But there's more to it than that. To get the top price, the condition of the coin must be pristine, no scratches, no signs of wear and tear. Collectors will pay a premium for coins that look like they just rolled off the mint press. And here's another secret. Getting your coin graded by a professional service can exponentially increase its value. Without that certification, you're just another person with a nickel. With it, you're a millionaire. But don't wait too long. Every day, more people are discovering the value of these rare coins. The demand is surging, and the longer you hold out, the more you risk the market becoming oversaturated. Or even worse, losing out on buyers altogether. Now, the million-dollar question, what do you do if you find one? Do you sell it immediately? Hold on to it for longer? There's a strategy involved, and not knowing it could cost you dearly. Here's the bottom line. This 1964 no-mint mark Monticello Jefferson nickel could be your golden ticket. But the window of opportunity won't stay open forever. You need to act now. Start searching through your coin collections, check your old piggy banks, and if you think you have one of these rare nickels, get it appraised by a professional. Don't let fear or hesitation hold you back. This could be the financial breakthrough you've been waiting for, the chance to turn an ordinary nickel into the wealth that allows you to live the life you deserve. Remember, fortunes favor the bold. So don't just watch this video and forget about it. Take action today, because that $1.5 million nickel might be sitting in your pocket right now. Imagine holding a single nickel in your hand, a seemingly ordinary 2002 mint mark Monticello Jefferson nickel. Now picture this, that same coin could be worth $1.3 million. Yes, you heard that right. A nickel, a coin you probably wouldn't even notice in your change, could hold the key to wealth beyond your wildest dreams. Before you dismiss this as fantasy, let me ask you, have you ever looked at the small details of a coin and wondered if it could change your life? This video could be the most important one you've ever watched because today, we're diving deep into how you can discover that hidden fortune lurking right under your nose. By the end, you'll know exactly how much your 2002 mint Jefferson nickel is worth, and why it's turning heads in the market right now. Let's start with a little history lesson. In 2002, the Denver Mint produced millions of Monticello Jefferson nickels. For most people, these were just everyday coins, used to pay for a coffee or maybe tossed into a jar at the end of the day. But what people didn't realize was that hidden among the ordinary, there was an extraordinary nickel. And that's where the story gets interesting. You see, not all nickels are created equal. Sometimes, due to minting errors, rarity, or an unexpected historical twist, coins can become highly valuable. Think about it. What if your loose change held a treasure you didn't even know existed? Here's where it gets exciting. A few select 2002 mint mark Jefferson nickels, due to a rare minting anomaly, are now being valued at $1.3 million. Yes, the value of these coins has skyrocketed, and collectors are paying top dollar to get their hands on one. Can you imagine turning 5 cents into $1 million fortune? Hold that thought because we'll circle back to how you can identify these rare coins in a moment. But first, let's talk about the market today and why this coin's value is rising so fast. Right now, the rare coin market is booming. In uncertain times, investors are always looking for assets that hold their value, and there's no better example than rare coins. The 2002 mint Jefferson nickel, once overlooked, is now a hot ticket item. Why? Scarcity and demand. If you've been paying attention to auctions or browsing collector forums, you'll notice one thing: prices for these coins are skyrocketing. The $1.3 million price tag didn't come out of nowhere. As collectors scramble to find these rare pieces, competition is fierce, and buyers are willing to pay anything to complete their collection. Here's a fun thought: your nickel might be sitting in your drawer, and as you're watching this, its value is increasing. But how can you tell if you have one of these rare coins? How do you make sure you're not sitting on $1 million without even knowing it? We're getting there. But first, let's take a breath. Ever wonder why people don't realize their coins could be worth so much? It's because most of us have never taken the time to check. We assume coins are just coins. But imagine the regret you'd feel if you tossed away $1 million nickel just because you didn't take a closer look. Alright, here's the moment you've been waiting for. How do you know if your 2002 mint mark Jefferson nickel is worth $1.3 million? Let's break it down. First, look for the D mint mark, which should be located just to the right of Monticello. The mint mark signifies that it was produced at the Denver Mint, an essential detail for this particular coin's rarity. Next, check for any noticeable minting errors. This could include an off-center strike, unusual wear, or even a doubling of the image. These tiny details, things you might have never noticed before, are what can turn an ordinary coin into a collector's dream. Now, here's where the urgency comes in. If you happen to find one of these rare nickels, you need to act fast. Why? The market is competitive, and as more people discover the value of this coin, prices could fluctuate. In fact, just last month, one of these coins sold at auction for a jaw-dropping amount, and experts predict even higher sales in the near future. Let me just pause here for a second. When was the last time you checked the coins in your pocket? Maybe that's something to do right after this video, right? You never know what you might find. Okay, back to business. But here's the real kicker: there's more than one way to make a fortune from these coins, and it's not just about selling to collectors. In just a moment, I'm going to share a little-known strategy that can help you maximize your profits even beyond what you think your coin is worth. Stay with me, because this could be a game changer. Let's talk about timing. If you own one of these valuable nickels, sure, you could sell it today and cash in. But here's the thing, knowing when to sell is just as important as knowing what to sell. Timing is everything in the coin market. There are specific moments when demand spikes, and if you wait for the right time, you could potentially see an even bigger payout. Collectors are always searching for the next big thing. And right now, with the buzz around rare coins reaching a fever pitch, there's a window of opportunity to make even more from your nickel than you thought possible. So here's the bottom line. That 2002 mint mark Monticello Jefferson nickel you might have sitting around could be your ticket to a new life. A life of financial freedom, wealth, and opportunity. But the clock is ticking. If you find one, you'll need to act fast before the market shifts. The question is, will you take a few minutes to check your coins and seize this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity? Or will you let it slip through your fingers? Remember, fortunes are made by those who recognize opportunity when it's right in front of them. Today, that opportunity might just be hiding in your pocket. If you want to learn more about rare coins that could be worth millions, or how to sell your valuable coins for top dollar, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. You don't want to miss what we have coming next. Sitting quietly in your drawer, among old coins you've never paid much attention to, could be a single nickel that's worth over $1 million. That's right. In today's video, I'm going to tell you about the 2000p Monticello Jefferson nickel that shocked the coin collecting world, fetching a jaw-dropping $1.2 million. Yes, you heard that correctly, a single nickel, worth over $1 million. And here's the best part, you might be holding one right now. But wait, before you rush to grab that jar of coins, there's more to the story, much more. We all know the thrill of finding loose change in a couch cushion, maybe a couple of nickels, dimes, or even a penny or two. But what if I told you that some of those coins could be worth far more than their face value? The 2000p Monticello Jefferson nickel, in particular, has caught the attention of serious collectors and even those looking to cash in on rare coins. You may be asking yourself, how could a nickel minted in 2000 possibly be worth $1.2 million? Isn't it just like any other nickel? Well, that's where things get interesting. This is no ordinary coin. It's an elusive era coin, and era coins are gold, or should I say silver, to collectors. The minting flaw makes it rare, and in the world of rare coins, rarity equals value. But here's the real kicker, you could have one right now, and not even know it. Exactly. Most people don't. But after watching this video, trust me, you'll never look at change the same way again. Now, let's talk about what makes this particular 2000p nickel so special. This is where things get a little technical, but stick with me because this is where the value skyrockets. The key lies in the mint mark and the design error. In 2000, the Philadelphia Mint produced a batch of Jefferson nickels with the Monticello building on the reverse. The error in the minting process resulted in a doubling of the image, a subtle yet significant difference that's almost invisible to the naked eye. A mistake, yes, but one that would turn a common coin into a treasure worth millions. And now you're probably thinking, wait, how do I know if my nickel is one of these valuable coins? What should I look for? We'll get to that in just a moment. But before we do, let me share a quick story about one collector who made the discovery of a lifetime. One lucky collector found a 2000p nickel, casually mixed in with his change. He took a closer look, noticed something was off with the Monticello design, and decided to have it professionally evaluated. That nickel? It sold for a staggering $1.2 million at auction. A simple 5-cent coin changed his entire life overnight. Now imagine that being you. Imagine the freedom that kind of money could bring: travel, financial security, living the lifestyle you've always dreamed of. You might even be able to pay off your credit card debt without breaking a sweat. Who would have thought a nickel could do that? So, let's answer the question you're all asking. How do you know if your 2000p nickel is one of these rare coins? First, check the mint mark. It should have a P for Philadelphia. Then, examine the Monticello building on the back. If there's any doubling in the design, no matter how slight, you might have hit the jackpot. But here's the thing, you're not the only one looking. Collectors, dealers, even amateur enthusiasts are scouring coin jars, piggy banks, and old wallets for this exact nickel. That's why you need to act fast. Get your coins checked by a professional, and don't wait. Because the longer you wait, the more others are finding these valuable coins, and your window of opportunity gets smaller. Imagine waking up tomorrow, holding a coin in your hand that could be your ticket to financial freedom. A single nickel. It's stories like this that remind us how incredible life can be, how opportunities can arise from the most unexpected places, like the change in your pocket. And just to make sure you don't miss out on more of these life-changing opportunities, subscribe to the channel. Because next week, I'll be revealing another rare coin that could be sitting in your home right now, worth tens of thousands. You don't want to miss it.so, what are you waiting for? Go check your coins, right now! And when you do, come back and let me know in the comments if you found anything interesting. After all, this could be the start of a whole new chapter in your life. Imagine reaching into your pocket, pulling out a simple nickel, only to realize it's worth more than a mansion. What if I told you there's a 1989 mint mark Monticello Jefferson nickel floating around, and its value just skyrocketed to an incredible $1.3 million? Yes, you heard that right, $1.3 million. But the clock is ticking, there's only a limited number of these out there, and every day you wait could be a missed opportunity. Today, we'll uncover why this coin is so valuable and how you might already own it without even knowing. So, grab that old jar of coins, this could change your life. Now I know what you're thinking. A nickel? How could something so ordinary be worth a fortune? But before you dismiss the idea, let me tell you, the 1989 mint mark Jefferson nickel is anything but ordinary. Collectors have been quietly eyeing this coin, and recent auction records have shattered expectations. This is the part where things get really interesting. You see, this particular nickel has unique characteristics that make it so rare and valuable. It's a combination of minting anomalies, historical significance, and most importantly, scarcity. You know, we often think of treasure as buried deep beneath the ocean or locked away in a vault. But what if it's hiding in plain sight, tucked away in your coin collection, waiting to be discovered? Oh, and by the way, before you go diving headfirst into your coin jar, stay with me until the end, because what I'm about to reveal could save you from losing out on a small fortune. You don't want to make the mistake of selling too soon or for too little, trust me. Quick question. When was the last time you even looked at your nickels? Exactly. Most of us treat loose change like an afterthought, but those pennies, nickels, and dimes could be your golden ticket to financial freedom. Now, let's dig into the specifics of why this nickel is causing such a stir in the collector's world. There's a combination of factors that give this coin its jaw-dropping value. First, we have to consider its minting location, Denver, marked by the D on the coin. You see, not every Jefferson nickel from 1989 carries the same potential. Only the ones minted in Denver, under very specific conditions, carry this exceptional value. Second, the condition of the coin is everything. This is where many people slip up. Coins that are still in mint state, meaning they're free from wear and tear, hold the highest worth. And there's a small window of these in circulation today. A tiny scuff, a slight discoloration, that's all it takes to slash the price in half. But if your coin is pristine, you could be looking at millions. The next time you're sorting through your coins, don't rush. This is where attention to detail pays off, literally. But here's the kicker, it's not just about scarcity or condition. There's an error on some of these nickels that makes them even rarer, a doubling in the design. Some experts say this doubling effect is so subtle, you could stare at it for hours and not notice unless you know exactly what to look for. Could that rare error be sitting in your collection right now? And here's where things get even more interesting. We've talked about the general value, but how do you know if your 1989 Jefferson nickel is one of these $1 million coins? In a moment I'll walk you through exactly how to check, step by step. By the way, This could be the most profitable search you've ever made from the comfort of your living room. Forget treasure maps and Indiana Jones. This adventure requires nothing more than your spare change and a keen eye. Alright, now that we've built up some excitement, let's get to the part you've been waiting for: how to tell if you have a 1989 D mint mark Monticello Jefferson nickel that could be worth a life-changing sum of money. Step 1. Examine the mint mark. It should clearly have the D for Denver. No D? Sorry, it's not the one. But don't give up just yet, because, Step 2, check for the error. Remember that doubling I mentioned? Focus on the lettering or the Monticello dome. This small error could mean the difference between a nickel worth a few dollars and one worth millions. Finally, Step 3, condition matters. If your coin has been sitting in your pocket for years, tossed around with keys and lint, the value might drop. But if you've got a crisp, clean version, with the error, you're in for a pleasant surprise. Now, here's the urgent part. This coin is catching fire in the market. Auction houses and private collectors are actively seeking out these rare coins. The demand is rising fast, but the number of perfect condition coins is incredibly low. Every day you wait could mean missing out on a huge payday. But here's a question: what if you could find not just one, but several valuable coins in your collection? In just a minute, I'll reveal another coin that might be lurking in your stash, and believe me, its value might surprise you even more than this one. Here's what it all comes down to: that old jar of coins you've had sitting in your house for years might be worth a fortune. Imagine waking up tomorrow knowing that a simple nickel is your ticket to financial freedom. It's exciting, but it's also urgent. The market is only growing hotter, and these opportunities don't last forever. So, what are you waiting for? Start checking your coins. Look for the 1989 D mint mark Jefferson nickel, and make sure to subscribe to stay updated on other coins that could be worth millions. After all, the next coin I'm about to talk about could be sitting right under your nose. Remember, every moment you wait is a moment you could miss out on life-changing wealth. Stay sharp, stay excited, and stay ready. You might have a 1996 D mint Jefferson nickel hiding in your drawer, your coin jar, or tucked away in a dusty box. But what if I told you it could be worth $1.2 million? Yes, a nickel, a coin worth only 5 cents, could be your golden ticket to wealth. Imagine cashing in a tiny piece of history and unlocking the life of luxury you've always dreamed of. In the next 10 minutes, I'll reveal why this specific coin is so valuable, how to find out if you have one, and what you can do right now to turn that old nickel into serious money. Stay tuned because you don't want to miss this opportunity. Let's go back to 1996, a year many remember for the rise of the internet, the release of classic movies, and the minting of an elusive, rare Jefferson nickel. At first glance, it seems like any other coin: Jefferson's profile on the front, Monticello on the back, and a small D marking from the Denver Mint. But here's the kicker: not all 1996 D mint Jefferson nickels are created equal. Some have unique features that make them incredibly valuable. And collectors, wealthy collectors, are willing to pay a fortune for them. You could be holding a piece of that fortune right now, but how do you know if yours is the one? What sets this nickel apart? Before we get to that, let's talk about the fear most people have when they hear stories like this. How many times have I let something valuable slip through my fingers without realizing it? Maybe you've already spent one of these rare coins on a cup of coffee, unaware that you were holding on to a goldmine. If that thought makes your stomach turn, good. It should. But don't worry, I'll show you exactly how to check if you've still got that winning nickel in your possession. Now, I know what you're thinking. Seriously? A nickel? My couch cushions probably have more valuable crumbs than that old coin jar. But you might want to think again. Unless you've got a $1.2 million crumb lying around. So what makes this 1996 D mint Jefferson nickel so special? It's all in the details, the minuscule imperfections, the slight errors in the minting process. These flaws, which went unnoticed for decades, have turned this common coin into a rare collector's dream. We're talking about doubled dies, misalignments, and sharpness of the strike. To the untrained eye, these may look like simple blemishes, but to coin experts, they're the golden key to unlocking a massive payday. Imagine this: you're holding a nickel, and you notice a slight irregularity in the design. You might think it's just worn out. But an expert who knows exactly what to look for, would see that error and immediately know its worth. And that's when the excitement hits. You're holding onto a coin that could make you rich beyond your wildest imagination. Now, don't run to your coin jar just yet. There's more you need to know. These rare features aren't always easy to spot, and selling a valuable coin like this isn't as simple as putting it on eBay. You need to navigate the world of rare coin collectors, auction houses, and valuation experts. But before I dive into how you can find a buyer and get your coin properly appraised, let's address a bigger question: what if your nickel isn't the one? What if you're missing out on other valuable coins you've overlooked? You see, while this 1990-60 nickel is rare, it's not the only coin that could change your financial future. The world of coin collecting is vast, and many people have stumbled into 6- or 7-figure payouts without even realizing what they had. You might have pennies, dimes, or nickels in your collection that are equally valuable, if you know what to look for. But back to the 1990-60 nickel. If you find one with the right imperfections, your next step is critical. You need to get it authenticated by a professional coin grader. This process ensures you don't accidentally sell your treasure for a fraction of its worth. Once verified, you're entering a world where coin auctions can turn a simple 5-cent piece into a $1 million windfall. But be careful. The moment you start searching, your mind will race with excitement and fear. You might wonder if your coin is real. You might wonder if it's too late. You might even wonder if you'll make a mistake that costs you a fortune. And let's face it, none of us want to be the person who sold a $1 million nickel at a garage sale for 25 cents. That's not the kind of yard sale treasure anyone wants to be remembered for. But you don't have to live with that fear. Right now, you have the knowledge to make sure it never happens to you. All it takes is a closer look at your old coin collection. A moment of your time could completely change your future. Imagine walking into the auction room, holding a simple, worn nickel, knowing that soon, you'll leave with $1 million check. That's not a dream. For some, it's about to become a reality. And that someone could be you. Now's the time. Check your coins. Get them authenticated. Don't wait, because the market for rare coins is growing, and the value could shift at any moment. Remember, the opportunity of a lifetime only comes if you're ready for it. But if you think the 1990-60 nickel is impressive, wait until you hear about the next coin that's setting records. Could that one be sitting in your home, too? I'll reveal more in the next video, where we uncover another hidden gem that could be worth even more than you think. Imagine, a single coin in your possession, one you probably have forgotten about, could be worth over $500,000. Yes, you heard that right. The 2000p mint mark Monticello Jefferson nickel might just be sitting in a drawer somewhere, and its current market value is a whopping $566,780. Intrigued? Well, stay with me. We're about to dive into what makes this coin so valuable, and how you can find out if you have one too. But first, let's pause here. If you're already frantically reaching into that drawer where all the odds and ends go, don't worry, I'll wait. Just kidding, let's keep going. Today, rare coins like the 2000p Monticello Jefferson nickel are skyrocketing in value, with collectors around the world prepared to pay fortunes for these hidden treasures. This isn't just a nickel, it's an untapped fortune for those lucky enough to discover it. Now, why this coin? What could make a simple nickel reach the lofty heights of $500,000? To understand the staggering worth of this coin, let's look at 3 key factors: rarity, demand, and minting errors. Starting with rarity, most of us tend to think of 19th century coins when we think of value, but here's the kicker: many 20th century coins, especially those minted in limited quantities or with unique markings, are highly sought after. And the 2000p Jefferson nickel is no exception. Now, did you just say to yourself, wait a second, I have some old coins. Could one of mine be this valuable? Well, let's break it down so you can find out. Collectors and coin enthusiasts hunt for pieces with unique mint marks or design quirks. The 2000p Monticello Jefferson nickel was minted in Philadelphia, denoted by the small p on the coin. Coins with p marks, especially from around the 2000s, had limited production runs and occasional errors. It's these errors, the slight deviations in design, that drive collectors into bidding wars, pushing the price of coins like this into astronomical figures. So, you're probably thinking, alright, but how can I tell if my coin is the real deal? There are certain telltale signs that reveal if your nickel is one of the few that's truly rare and valuable. We'll get into that shortly, but first, let's talk about demand and why this coin holds such allure. You see, in the world of rare coins, demand isn't just about having a piece of history. It's about wealth, about legacy, about holding something truly special. Think of the collectors out there, ready to pay top dollar to add this specific coin to their vault. When a coin is rare and demand is high, it transforms from a simple nickel to a luxury asset, one that could change your life if you're lucky enough to own it. Imagine telling your friends over dinner, "Oh, I just happened to find a $500,000 coin in my pocket change." Now, that would make you the most interesting person at the table. Now that I've painted the picture of what this nickel could mean, here's the part you've been waiting for. How can you determine if your 2000p Monticello Jefferson nickel is worth a fortune? There are certain things to look out for, like slight variations in the Monticello design, the clarity of Jefferson's portrait, and the condition of the coin itself. For example, coins that have remained untouched and preserved well are far more valuable. Plus, certain minting errors, such as doubling in the letters or minor cracks, can exponentially increase value. I'll walk you through these details so you can inspect your own coins and see if you've got a hidden treasure. Scene, brief pause, with a cut to a slow zoom in on the coin to emphasize the importance of close inspection. Here's where it gets critical. Many people overlook these details, but if you pay close attention, you could be holding a life-changing asset. And let me remind you, this isn't just any nickel, it's potentially $500,000 sitting in your pocket, just waiting to be discovered. Now is the time to check your coins carefully. Imagine the thrill of discovering this hidden gem, realizing that something as simple as an overlooked nickel could transform your financial future. Now that you know what to look for, I encourage you to check those coins. Take a close look at every detail, because sometimes, wealth is hidden in plain sight. And who knows? This could be the very beginning of your journey into the world of rare coins, a journey that could lead to untold wealth and an incredible story to share. Thank you for watching. Hit the subscribe button for more insights into valuable coins, the secrets behind them, and how you can uncover hidden treasures right at home. Until next time, happy hunting, and may fortune be on your side. Imagine this: you're rummaging through an old jar of loose change that's been sitting in a drawer for years. You spot a nickel, but before you brush it off as just 5 cents, think about this. What if that tiny coin could be worth over $1 million? Yes, a 1996 Jefferson nickel with AP mint mark has sold for a staggering $1.2 million. Let that sink in. $1.2 million for a single nickel. But here's the kicker: anyone could unknowingly be holding one of these gems right now in their spare change. Could you be one of them? In this video, we're not only exploring what makes this coin worth so much, but also how you can identify if you have a fortune just lying around in your pocket, or maybe the real question is, do you even know what to look for? Let's dive into what makes this specific 1996 Jefferson nickel stand out. First, we need to talk about the P mint mark found just above Monticello on the reverse side. But hang on, didn't almost every 1996 nickel have a P mint mark? That's the trick. You see, this particular mint mark has a subtle flaw, a misstrike if you will, that makes it incredibly rare and sought after by collectors. Now, before you go looking at every nickel under a microscope, let me explain further. Only a very specific error on a small number of these coins skyrockets their value. Think of it like finding a diamond in the rough. The mint error itself is almost invisible, but when spotted it can transform a regular nickel into a fortune. But here's a question for you: what would you do with $1 million from a single coin? A new car, a dream home, or maybe that world cruise you've been fantasizing about? Scene transition, background fades to black, then focuses on various rare coins to keep the pace engaging. Now you might be wondering, why does such a small flaw matter so much to collectors? Well, in the world of coin collecting, rarity is king and demand is queen. This specific coin with its rare mint mark error is a collector's holy grail. It's the scarcity combined with the backstory of its minting process that has set it apart from millions of other nickels minted that same year. You know how some people invest in stocks or gold? Collectors invest in rarity. That little flaw is like gold dust, and as the story of this coin spreads, it's only driving its value up further. It's no longer just a coin, it's a status symbol. Now here's a thought: how many nickels have you come across in your life without even a second glance? Scene transition: show images of people finding coins, adding intrigue. So now we reach the big question: how can you tell if you have one of these $1 million nickels? First off, we'll need to talk about key details. Look for the P mint mark and focus on the strike and subtle flaws visible only under a magnifying glass. But here's a cliffhanger you didn't see coming: not all 1996 P nickels with flaws are valuable. If you miss one tiny detail, it could mean the difference between 5 cents and $500,000. Let's say you find one, you might think you're ready to cash in. But this is where the journey truly begins. Rare coin dealers, auctions, even online marketplaces all have their advantages, but selling it right is crucial. You wouldn't want to miss out on its full potential value, right? Imagine holding a life-changing opportunity only to lose it by selling it short. But here's the twist: the window to cash in on these rare coins is closing fast. As more people become aware of the 1996 P nickel's value, the rarity decreases with each one sold and taken out of circulation. The market becomes more saturated, which could lower the demand and the final sale price. That's why, if you're serious about this, you need to act now. Find that nickel, get it appraised, and if you strike gold, don't hold back. Imagine what that kind of money could mean for you: a fresh start, financial freedom, even the chance to retire earlier than planned, and all from a single nickel. So go ahead, check those jars, those drawers, even the pockets of jackets you haven't worn in years. Who knows, you might be holding the key to a fortune right in your own home. And if you do find one, let us know what dreams it unlocked, because stories like this remind us that sometimes the biggest treasures come from the smallest places. You're casually sifting through your old change drawer when you stumble upon a dusty nickel from 1990. Nothing special, right? But what if I told you that this exact coin could be worth, brace yourself, over $1 million? Sounds unbelievable? Well, in this video, I'm going to walk you through every critical detail of the 1990 P mint mark Jefferson nickel, from its unique features to why collectors are willing to pay top dollar. By the end, you might just find yourself raiding every drawer in your house. Let's dive in. First, let's take a quick journey back to the year 1990. Gas was $1 a gallon, people were hooked on Twin Peaks, and a seemingly regular nickel quietly rolled off the US mint presses, only to later be identified as a true gem. This wasn't just any coin. It was a 1990 P mint mark Jefferson nickel, an elusive piece of American history that, today, is valued at a staggering $1.2 million in pristine condition. But why? Why is this particular nickel so valuable? Let's be honest, how many times have you tossed a nickel, thinking it's practically worthless? If you're like most people, the answer is probably every time. But hold that thought. Rare coins tend to carry stories that add to their mystique. And the 1990 Jefferson nickel is no exception. Coins minted in Philadelphia were often released in large numbers, making them quite common. But here's the twist: very few of these coins were kept in their original, untouched condition. And today, a handful of collectors are willing to pay small fortunes to get their hands on a perfect, high-grade 1990 P Jefferson nickel. Let's dig into why they're willing to pay that much and how it impacts you. To understand this coin's insane value, let's get technical for a moment. The 1990 P mint mark Jefferson nickel has specific characteristics that make it unique. Its obverse features a distinguished profile of President Thomas Jefferson, while the reverse showcases Monticello Jefferson's Virginia estate. But there's more to it than what meets the eye. Many of the rarest nickels have fine details and remarkable minting quality that make them stand out. Coins with deep mirror-like surfaces or sharply struck details are the ones that skyrocket in value. And I know what you're thinking: yeah, but can a nickel really be worth $1 million? Well, yes, if it has these rare qualities. Now, let's talk about the market demand, because this is where things get exciting. In the world of rare coins, it's not just about what you're holding but who's willing to buy. Wealthy collectors, often more passionate than logical, compete for pieces like this, leading to jaw-dropping prices. The highest grade nickels, those without a single scratch or dent, held in immaculate condition, are often seen as tiny pieces of art. And as time passes, they only become rarer. Think about it. How many 1990 nickels are still sitting untouched, preserved as if they just rolled off the mint? Very few. And that's precisely why collectors are ready to shell out over $1 million. Now, here's where it gets crucial for you. If you happen to own a 1990 mint-marked Jefferson nickel, now might be the best time to check it out. With the recent surge in demand for rare American coins, experts believe that prices will only continue to climb. Missing out on a potential fortune could be as simple as not knowing what to look for. That's why I'm here to guide you through how to spot if you have one of these hidden gems. And if you're still not sure where to begin, don't worry, we're just getting to the important part. Start by examining your nickel's condition. Does it have sharp, clear details? Any signs of wear or scratches will reduce its value, but a pristine 1990 nickel could be worth more than you might imagine. Professional grading services can authenticate and appraise coins, giving you an accurate valuation. And if you think that sounds like a hassle, remember that we're talking about potentially cashing in on $1 million payday. So, are you ready to see if your old change might hold a ticket to a life-changing fortune? Many people don't realize that the next major coin discovery could be sitting right under their nose. If you've got a 1990 mint-marked Jefferson nickel, don't ignore it. Every detail could make the difference between an ordinary coin and a once-in-a-lifetime jackpot. Who knows? The next millionaire might just be you. Go check your coins, because that $1 million discovery could be waiting, right in your own pocket. Welcome to a journey that could change the way you see your pocket change. Imagine holding a 1987 Jefferson nickel, not realizing its worth, drumroll please, up to $1.3 million. That's right. For the cost of a 5-cent coin, you could be holding a fortune. But before you go scrambling for every nickel in your change jar, let's dive into exactly why this coin stands out and what it could mean for you. Now, you might be thinking, $1 million nickel? Are we in some kind of sci-fi movie? Stick with me, and by the end, you'll know how even a seemingly ordinary nickel could hold the key to extraordinary wealth. Alright, so what makes the 1987 Jefferson nickel so special? Unlike your typical, run-of-the-mill coins, this one has a backstory. Picture 1987, mullets, neon everything, and a U.S. mint that was unknowingly crafting a handful of nickels that would turn into collector's gold. Specifically, the Denver Mint, with a unique D mark, created these coins with slight differences that collectors today are paying massive sums for. The world of rare coins is about more than just metal. It's about history, scarcity, and the mystery of errors, quirks that set specific coins apart. For this 1987 Jefferson nickel, there's a twist. Some of these coins have unique markings, unintentional errors, or even a certain sheen that die-hard collectors go wild for. It's like owning a ticket to a treasure hunt that's right in front of you, hidden in plain sight. But here's the twist. While thousands of 1987 nickels were minted, only a rare few have these distinctive features, making them incredibly valuable. So, as you're watching, keep asking yourself, do I have one of these nickels lying around? So next time you're about to toss that nickel into a tip jar, maybe stop and think, could it be the key to a new life? Stranger things have happened. Now, here's where things get really interesting. Experts believe that less than 1% of these nickels have the special qualities collectors are after. And the value of these coins? It's skyrocketing. Imagine being one of the few people in the country who unknowingly owns a piece of this hidden wealth. So, how do you know if you have this hidden gem? First, grab any 1987 nickel you can find and check for specific characteristics. Look for small flaws or errors, like double-stamped features, unusual smoothness, or a slightly different color. These tiny details are what set $1 million nickels apart from regular ones. Next, if you find anything out of the ordinary, get it appraised. There are expert appraisers and collectors out there who specialize in identifying rare, valuable coins, and they'll tell you if you're sitting on a fortune. You might be looking at your ticket to wealth and not even know it, But here's the thing. Only a few of these 1987 D nickels have actually been verified and sold for these sky-high amounts. Could there be more out there waiting to be found? Could you be one of the few who stumbles upon this untapped fortune? Imagine being the person who discovers that life-changing nickel tucked away in an old drawer. If you're suddenly feeling a strong urge to check under your couch cushions, you're not alone. Now's the time to start looking through that loose change, asking yourself the big question: am I holding on to something worth $1 million? Don't let this moment slip by. Subscribe to learn more tips on spotting valuable coins, and let's uncover your hidden fortune together. Imagine you're holding an unassuming nickel. It's worn, a little dinged, and has probably been in circulation for decades. But here's the twist: this very nickel might be worth over $250,000. Yes, a Monticello Jefferson nickel, minted in 2022 with a PE mark, could hold life-changing value. Intrigued? You should be. In this video, I'll walk you through everything you need to know to identify whether you own one of these rare and valuable nickels, and if so, exactly how to capitalize on it. Stick with me until the end, because this could be the moment that transforms your old change into a small fortune. Ready to find out if your humble nickel holds a hidden jackpot? Let's dive in. So, how did a simple Jefferson nickel come to be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars? The answer lies in a combination of rarity, condition, and of course, that all-important PE mint mark. Now, let's break this down. In 2022, the Philadelphia Mint produced limited runs of the Monticello Jefferson nickel, each one bearing that small but powerful PE symbol. Unlike the more commonly circulated nickels, this particular edition featured characteristics that experts say are unique: a slight variation in design, minute minting errors, and exceptional quality that collectors are now paying staggering sums to own. But here's the thing, they're hard to come by. A quick question before we go on: did you check your pockets yet? Maybe your car's cup holder? You might have one of these right within reach and not even realize it. If you're like most people, you probably haven't thought much about the nickels you see every day. But after today, that could change. Now, how can you tell if your Monticello nickel is the real deal? Don't worry. I'm about to reveal a simple way to identify if your nickel holds hidden value. Alright, let's get down to business. First, take a look at your coin. You'll notice the distinct portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the front and the classic image of his Monticello estate on the back. But here's where things get interesting. You're looking for a tiny P mint mark on the obverse side, right near Jefferson's ponytail. Now, this P mark isn't just a letter, it's a signal, a stamp of authenticity that places this coin in an elite category. But the mint mark alone isn't enough. Condition is everything. If your coin has even a hint of wear, don't worry just yet. Some of these nickels, even with minor blemishes, are fetching astonishing prices. The key is in the details, the clarity of the design, the sharpness of the features, and any slight minting errors that make this coin unlike any other. Before we continue, let's hit pause for a second. How often do you check for mint marks on your change? If you're like most people, probably never, right? Well, today might be the day that habit pays off. In fact, did you know that over 90% of people never bother to look at the mint marks on their coins? Crazy, right? Yet those who do, they're finding coins worth hundreds of thousands. Sometimes, all it takes is a closer look at the things we take for granted every day. Alright, so you've found the P mint mark, and your coin is in fantastic condition. What next? How do you make sure that this treasure in your hand translates into a lucrative payday? Now comes the moment of truth. You've identified a potential jackpot coin. Now let's get it valued. When it comes to rare coins like these, professional appraisals are key. Find a reputable numismatist, a professional coin dealer who can authenticate and grade your nickel. A high-grade coin in mint state can skyrocket its value to the six-figure mark. And for rare collector's items, the prices can go beyond that, especially if there are unique markings or errors. But here's the real kicker: demand. Coin collectors and investors alike are seeking these rarities to complete their collections, driving prices up as the market becomes increasingly competitive. Every day, people are auctioning off similar coins for jaw-dropping prices. Imagine securing a future with the sale of a single coin. Doesn't that sound incredible? Now, I bet you're wondering, how much would this Monticello Jefferson nickel fetch in an auction today? Well, I'll leave you with this. Recently, similar coins have been listed for as high as $266,788. That's right. One nickel, over $250,000. But with prices constantly fluctuating, who knows how much higher it could go? So, take a good, hard look at those nickels in your possession. Do you have a potential treasure lying in wait? This is your moment to find out, because opportunities like these don't come every day. Hold on to that dream of transforming the ordinary into something extraordinary. Sometimes, all it takes is just one coin to change your life. Thank you for joining me on this journey today. If you've got more coins or stories you'd like to explore, make sure to hit subscribe and stay tuned for more tips on finding those hidden gems in your pocket change.